I have long been a fan of the older hit-and-miss engines from back in the early 1900s, and some of the ingenious mechanical devices that were found on them. One of the things that really intrigued me was that they had four-cycle engines that ran with no camshaft and no timing gears. And I often asked myself, how do you do something like that? So, of course, being interested in it, I had to study on it. And I've built a reproduction of the gearless mechanisms that were used on those early engines. And the way this works, the real secret of it, is this wheel right here. The ratchet wheel has 8 divisions on it, and each division is 45 degrees apart. So back here, the part that comes up and actually acts on the stem of the valve, which is called the star wheel, it only has 4 lobes, but it also has 4 spaces between the lobes. So it's 90 degrees from lobe to lobe, 45 degrees from lobe to space. So you can see what happens in one full revolution of the crankshaft. The ratchet wheel will advance the mechanism 45 degrees and it won't lift the valve. The next revolution we get another 45 degrees of revolution at the ratchet wheel and it will lift the valve. Now I've seen 3 or 4 different ways of making this same mechanism, and this is about the shortest configuration here. So I'm going to start it up and I'll run it slowly, and you can see this is my valve. It's a fake valve, but it illustrates how the valve is lifted and closed on every second revolution. So if we're very fortunate here, and my belt don't fly off, there we go. So every other revolution, it lifts the valve. Now these were never intended for a high-speed engine. I can just imagine all kinds of terrible things happening if you tried to run this really fast. But on the old hit-and-miss engines, which were not a high revving engine, this worked quite adequately. And since the manufacturer did not have to make gears, there was a cost advantage to the manufacturer. And again, for something slow like a hit-and-miss engine, this seemed to do the job very nicely with no gears and no camshaft. And I was so curious that I had to build one myself and try it and see. I've got a variable speed drill on there as my driving motor. So you can see it every time it goes up, every time it comes back down, this spring-loaded arm catches and rotates the star wheel 45 degrees, and consequently it rotates the ratchet wheel and the star wheel 45 degrees. It's been a fun project, and it's been a relatively short project. Everybody's asked me, am I going to build an engine for it? And right now the answer is no. I really have no intention of building an engine. If anybody wants the plan, you can email me, and I will give you a copy of the plans if you'd like to build your own gearless mechanism to run on an engine or just to run as a display unit. So thanks very much for looking, and that's all that I had to say today.